What's up people, welcome to your 17th 3ds Max tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to apply a map to an object. So let's go ahead and create an object like a sphere or something. It's a pretty good looking sphere right there. And let me just move it up. Bam, look at that. Now let's go ahead and bring up our materials editor by pressing M, and what we're going to be doing is applying a picture instead of this color right here. So I'm finally going to tell you how to apply a map to this, and here's how you do it. Under your maps rollout right here, press the plus button, and this is going to bring up all the different places you can add a map. For example, the diffuse color is the main object. The ambient color is like the shadow. The specular color is the highlights or brightness of it. So what we're going to be doing first is anytime we want to apply an image instead of just a color, click the diffuse color, and as you can see, the map, it has no map right here, none. So instead of none, go ahead and click that, and this brings up all the different types of maps you can add to it. Now what we're going to want to do is add a bitmap. This is the most common. A bitmap is the same thing as an image. So we're going to want to add an image to the main color. So go ahead and double click bitmap, and it brings up my default images. Go ahead and select something like what's a good one? Forest. This will be a good one, this forest right here, and you can either double click that or click open, and as you can see in my little preview right here, we have a preview of this forest. So now if we go ahead and either select this and hit assign material, or we can just drag it on, you can see that my object changes from blue to gray. You're ever saying, alright, why did it turn gray and it doesn't have a picture of a forest on it? WTF? Well, that is because it isn't rendered out. If we go ahead and render it, we can see that now our sphere has a picture of that forest on it. It looks like a nice little shiny marble now. So go ahead and click X to X out of this, and the reason why that you have to render it out to get the image, because if you're working with it and it showed an image, it would use a whole bunch of memory, so you don't really want to do that. Now let's go over, once you applied a map, which we just did, we have all these new settings: coordinates, noise, bitmap. Let me go over what each one of these means. The coordinates rollout pretty much lets you position the map on the object how you want it, pretty much the X, Y, and Z. So say you want to put a picture on here, but you're saying, alright, instead of this tree on the left side, I want it on the right side. Well, you can adjust these to get your tree on the right side, just like that right there. But let's go ahead and leave that at default 0. And I just want to tell you guys what it does. You can figure out what all these do later, or if we need to, work them back. So minimize that, and now let's go to the next one, the noise. What the noise does is pretty much add randomization to your map. So for example, it can like add static, and if you have like a grainy texture, you can add some noise to make it more grainy or gritty. So that's what the noise does. I'm not going to be messing with that for now. The time, we'll skip this bitmap parameters for right now. The time, if you expand this has to do with animation. So when we get into animation, we'll be coming back to that, but we're not going to touch it for now. And the output does some weird stuff, like you can invert all your colors, and now if we go and apply that and render it, every color is inverted. But for now, we're just going to leave it blank, and we won't be messing with the output for now, since we're just sticking with the basics here. So I already taught you guys how to add a diffuse map using a diffuse color, and when you add this, it takes whatever map or whatever image you selected and replaces your main color with that. So now I'm going to make a new material, and we're going to make a new map. Aside from replacing your main color, I'm going to teach you guys something called a bump map. What a bump map does is, if we go ahead and select bump where we have none, go ahead and click bitmap and select any image, like these frangipani flowers. What the heck? Frangipani flowers. Then go ahead and open that. You can see that when we apply this bump map right here and we render it out, that our image or our object is indented where the whites and blacks meet. So I don't know if anytime it's white it indents, or anytime it's black it indents, but it's one of the two, doesn't really matter. So that's what a bump map does. It uses the colors in your image to provide a texture in your map. So while a diffuse just pretty much is all looks, a bump map uses the colors or different shades of gray to provide texture. So now we know what a diffuse map is, change the appearance, and a bump map, change the texture. What if we want to do both? So let's go in our third one right here. The first one's the diffuse, the second one's the bump. This is the third one we're going to be working with. Now this can be kind of confusing. So right now we have no maps applied. If we expand this, so let's go ahead and add something for the diffuse color. We'll go ahead and add this dock or something right there, apply it, and now we have our dock right here. It looks like a marble. So now what if we want to add a bump map, WTF is a bump tap. Anyways, what if we not only want to add the diffuse, but we also want to add a texture to this? Well, what we can do is anytime we want to add two maps on the same thing, you need to click this little button, go to parent, and this brings you back to the main object, or which is actually the parent. It's called the same thing. And now you can add different maps. So if you're looking around that you're like, alright, I can't find maps anywhere, that's because you need to click go to parent, and this will bring you back to your main object. So from now we can go ahead and add any bump map we want, bitmap, and find something with like a couple of whites in it. And now if we apply it again, render it out, we now get that overall diffuse color, which changes the main appearance of our object, and we also get a bump map which has different textures on our object. So how cool is that? We can apply several maps to the same object to create a desired effect. There we go. I got out eventually. So you guys play around with maps, and remember, you can, anytime you want to use a map, just go down to this map drop down, and those are all the different maps you can apply. So just double click on the button and select your map. And again, bitmap is the most common one, and that's what we're going to be working with, so that's why I showed it to you guys. But that's all the basics you get for now. Thank you guys for watching. You start learning 3ds Max, and I'm going to go to Food Lion and get some Tostitos and dip, and when I come back I'll make the next tutorial. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe.